My name's Dan Cox. I'm in District 1. And first I wanted to thank y'all for what you've been doing as far as trying to keep the budget. I know it's real tight and everything like that. And I've mentioned some stuff over the course of a few different times that I've spoken. And y'all may remember this sheet that I gave you at the last regular meeting, and it talks about the tax revenue. The reason that Humphreys County is having the difficulty it's having is because y'all have been in a real estate development mindset for about 20 years. And it hasn't shown up so much in the population of the county, but it's shown up real big in the number of businesses and the number of farms that have shut down and gone away. And if y'all took the time to look at this, one of the things you'll notice is that for every $1,000 that a local business, not a Walmart, a local business or a farm brings in, that's about $700 in usable tax revenue. They don't demand as much as they give. And so as they leave, that puts a bigger and bigger pressure on Humphreys County government to be able to meet all of these expectations. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to emphasize to y'all as we go forward with this, that there's a time to make a change. And the change is not to continue going down the road of real estate development. It absolutely is not. Because it shows a whole bunch of money, but all that money is just a short-term burst, and then it goes out of the county with the with the real estate developers. It doesn't stay here. And we get left with all the bills and the burden, right? As I mentioned, for every $1,000 of new tax revenue that comes in from all that real estate development, it costs an additional $116. So there's no way to catch up on that. There's no way to do the numbers that you're going to catch up on that. And so in looking at all of that, one of the things that I would recommend that y'all look at and handle is, this water authority. This water authority is something that y'all have voted on, but it has not yet been reported to the Secretary of State, as is required by the Act itself and also by Tennessee law. I emailed the county executive, who's also the chairman of this, last Monday to inform him of this, and no action has been taken as of yet. And when I say that this is something that is required by law, it's under Tennessee Code Title 8, Chapter 3, Section 202. And as I mentioned also, it's contained within the body of the Water Authority. That it's a requirement that once y'all vote on it, it be reported to the Secretary of State. Now, it's my belief that the reason that has not been reported is that Mr. Pogriba wants to hold on to this until December 1st, when it legislatively expires. That would be if y'all didn't vote on it, if y'all just left it sit and you didn't vote on it, and December 1st came around, it would die. But y'all did vote on it. That was a legit vote. And without it being reported, that act, as far as the Secretary of State is concerned, is still alive. They don't keep track of that. But it is a duty, a responsibility of the chairman and the county executive to report that. And so I would ask that y'all vote tonight or take some kind of action yourselves to require him to have that vote,
Sir,
that notice.
On the agenda for this evening. Could you
It is
state
on
the
the
topics
agenda.
that
It is on the agenda. And this is not a
It's
back and
not-
forth.
it's not
This
on-
is not a back and
I
forth.
understand that.
This is not a back and forth.
Sir?
You've said that repeatedly. This is
Sir?
not a back and forth.
Wrap it up with.
Wrapping it up with,
particular-
I would like for y'all to take action to make sure that it does get reported, because y'all have voted on it. And that was a legal vote that should have been certified. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. Let's go to resolutions. First up is a resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Humphreys County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. Be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Humphreys County, Tennessee, assembled in special session on the 22nd day of June 2026, that the amounts hereafter set out are hereby appropriated for the purposes of meeting the expenses of the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Humphreys County, Tennessee, for the capital outlay and for meeting the payment of principal and interest on the county's debt maturing during the year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027, according to the following schedule. I'm not going to go through all of the small numbers, but we're going to hit all of the main numbers. The general fund 101, total $14,075,441. Solid waste fund 116, total $1,382,977. Drug fund 122, total $96,000. Local purpose tax fire fund, total $307,885. Highway Public Works Fund 131, total $6,914,351. General Purpose School Fund 141, total $42,574,419.11. Central Cafeteria Fund 143, total $3,188,375. General Debt Service Fund 151, total $1,790,365. General Capital Projects 171, total $9,290,220. Other Capital Projects 178, total $981,492. Other Capital Projects Watershed 189, total $20,000. Public Utility Wastewater 204, total $172,596. Be it further resolved that the budget for the school federal projects fund shall be the budget approved for the separate projects within the fund by the Humphreys County Board of Education. Be it further resolved that there are also hereby appropriated certain portions of the commissions and fees for collecting taxes and licenses and for administering other funds which the trustee, county clerk, circuit court clerk, clerk and master, register, and the sheriff, and their officially authorized deputies and assistants may be entitled to receive under state laws heretofore or hereafter enacted. Expenditures out of commissions and or fees collected by the trustee, county clerk, circuit court clerk, clerk and master, register, and sheriff may be made for such purposes and in such amounts as may be authorized by existing law or by valid order of any court having power to make such appropriations. Any excess commissions and or fees collected over and above the expenditures duly and conclusively authorized shall be paid over to the trustee and converted into the general fund as provided by law. Be it further resolved that if any fee officials as enumerated in section 8-22-101 Tennessee Code annotated operate under the provisions of section 8-22-104 in the preceding paragraph shall not apply to those particular officials. Be it further resolved that any amendment to the budget shall be approved as provided in section 5-9-407 Tennessee Code annotated. The Director of Schools must receive approval from the Board of Education for transfers within each major category of a budget and approval of both the Board of Education and Board of County Commissioners for transfers between major categories as required by law. One copy of each amendment shall be filed with the county clerk, one copy with the chairman of the budget committee, and one copy with each divisional or departmental head concerned. The reasons for each transfer shall be clearly stated. However, this section shall in no case whatsoever be construed as authorizing transfers from one fund to another. It shall apply solely to transfers with a certain fund. Be it further resolved that any appropriations made by this resolution which cover the same purpose for which the specific appropriation is made by statute, is made in lieu of, but not in addition to, said statutory appropriation. Salary, wages, and remuneration, of each officer, employee, or agent of the county shall not be in excess of the amounts authorized by existing law or is set forth in the estimate of the expenditures which accompanies this resolution, provided, however, that appropriations for such salaries, wages, and other remuneration hereby authorized shall in no case be construed as permitting expenditures for an office, agency, institution, division, or department of the county in excess of the appropriation made herein for such office, agency, institution, division, or department of the county. Such appropriation shall constitute the limited to the expenditures of any office, agency, institution, division, or department for the year ending June 30, 2026. The aggregate expenditures for any item of appropriation shall in no instance be more than the amount herein appropriated for such item. Be it further resolved that any resolution which may hereafter be presented to the Board of the County Commissioners providing for appropriations in addition to those made by this budget appropriation resolution shall specifically provide sufficient revenue or other funds actually to be provided during the year in which the expenditures to be made to meet such additional appropriation. Said appropriating resolution shall be submitted to and approved by the State Director of Local Finance after its adoption is provided by Section 921.403 Tennessee Code Annotated. Be it further resolved that the county executive and the county clerk are hereby authorized to borrow money on revenue anticipation notes, provided such notes are first approved by the State Director of Local Finance, to pay for the expenses herein authorized until the taxes and other revenue for the year 2026-2027 have been collected. Proceeds of loans for each individual fund should not exceed 60% of the appropriations of each individual fund. It shall be used only to pay the expenses and other requirements of the fund for which the loan is made. Loans should be paid out of revenue from the fund for which the money is borrowed. Notes evidencing the loans authorized under this section shall be issued under the applicable sections of Title IX, Chapter 21, Tennessee Code Annotated. Said notes shall be signed by the county executive and countersigned by the county clerk, and shall mature and be paid full without renewal not later than June 30, 2027. Be it further resolved that the delinquent county property taxes for the year beginning July 1, 2026, and prior years, and the interest and penalty thereon collected during the year ending June 30, 2027, shall be apportioned to the various county funds according to the subdivision of the tax levy for the year beginning July 1, 2026. The clerk and master and the trustee are hereby authorized and directed to make such apportionment accordingly. Be it further resolved that all unencumbered fund balances of the appropriations remaining at the end of the fiscal year shall lapse and be of no further effect at the end of the year June 30, 2027. Be it further resolved that any resolution or part of a resolution which heretofore has been passed by the Board of County Commissioners, which is in conflict with any provision in this resolution, may be in the same hereby repealed. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect from and after its passage, and its provisions shall be enforced from and after July 1, 2026. This resolution shall be spread upon the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. That was a lot of reading, but I feel justified in the importance of what we're doing and the amount of funding that we're talking about, that everybody has a full understanding of exactly what we're doing. I see that we do have a motion by Mr. Van Malone and a second by Marilyn Phillips. Do we have further discussion? Hearing none, without objection, we'll call for a vote. Commissioners, please select the vote. votes are cast. Ms. Wilson, could you tally the vote?
We have 13 yeses, 0 no.
13 yes, 0 no, the resolution passes. Next on the agenda, item B. The resolution fixing the tax levy in Humphreys County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2026. Be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners in Humphreys County, Tennessee, assembled in special session on this 22nd day of June 2026, that the combined property tax rate for Humphreys County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2026 shall be 1.4864 outside the city limits and 1.4321 inside the city limits on each $100 of taxable property, which is to provide revenues for each of the following funds and otherwise conform to the following. Fund, the general fund, outside city limits rate, 0.5142. Inside the city limits rate, 0.5142. Solid waste, outside, inside, 0.1130. Special purpose tax, fire, outside only, 0.0543, inside 0. Highway department, outside, inside, 0.1120. General purpose school, inside, outside, 0.3744. General debt service, inside, outside, 0.1750. General capital projects, inside, outside, 0.1435. Total outside city limits rate, 1.4864. Inside city limits rate, 1.4321. Be it further resolved that the first $400,000 in interest earned on all county investments excludes interest from the central cafeteria, trust funds, or bond proceeds shall be deposited into Debt Service Fund 151 and the remainder into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the proceeds from litigation taxes be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the proceeds from business taxes shall be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the proceeds from the bank excise tax shall be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the revenues derived from the Tennessee River Resort District Act shall be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the proceeds from the beer tax, alcohol beverage tax, state shared sports gaming privilege tax shall be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the local option sales tax revenues shall be distributed according to the interlocal contracts and agreements. The county portion shall be deposited into the General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the proceeds from the wholesale beer tax be deposited into the General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the hotel motel tax be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the local amusement tax be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that the revenues derived from the state revenue sharing TVA and state revenue sharing telecoms and telecommunications should be deposited into General Fund 101. Be it further resolved that all resolutions of the Board of County Commissioners of Humphreys County, Tennessee, which are in conflict with this resolution, are hereby repealed. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect from and after its passage, the public welfare requiring it. This resolution shall be spread upon the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. We have a motion, Ms. Kathy McClanahan, and a second, Mr. Tim Daniel. Do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, without objection, call for a vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Seeing that the votes are cast, Ms. Wilson, could you tally the vote?
We have 13 yes, 0 no.
13 yes, 0 no, the resolution is passed. Next on the agenda is appropriation resolution authorizing account transfers for the general purpose school fund. Be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Humphreys County, Tennessee, the transfers in the general purpose fund are approved as follows in attachments A and B. This is from the Board of Education, that please find the amendments approved by the school board this evening of June 11, 2026, to be presented to the commission on June 22nd, 2026, most of which are general housekeeping or transfers to align with the E-plan. 141 general purpose, we have a decrease in employee benefits in the amount of $875 and an increase in 72-130 guidance personnel by $875. 141 general purpose, office of the principal, decrease in office supplies and other charges by $9,050, increase in principal and other supplies by $9,050. Fund 141 general purpose school, lottery for education after school programs, decrease in, looks like employee benefits of $3,664.43. Increase in teachers in the LEAPS program of $3,604, employee Medicare of $34.15, average stabilization for a total of $3,664.43. Fund 141 general purpose school, decrease in teachers' aid, employee benefits, travel, food supplies, instructional supplies for a total of $10,684.70. The increase in early childhood education for certified subs, medical insurance, average stabilization, maintenance, and equipment for the total of $10,684.70. Fund 141, general purpose, decrease in instructional supplies, $6,774.12. An increase in summer learning camps and other supplies, the same amount of $6,774.12. That is the extent of the budget resolution presented by the Board of Education. Do we have a motion? We have a motion, Mr. Coleman. We have a second, Mr. Tim Daniel. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, without objection, call for a vote. Commissioners, please select a vote. Seeing that the votes are cast, Ms. Wilson, could you tally the vote?
With 13 yeses, 0 noes.
Thank you. All ayes. The resolution passes. Item D on the agenda, resolution to amend the budget of Humphreys County, Tennessee, adopted on June 23, 2025, fiscal year ending June 30, 2026. This is a 101 general fund, account 54210, entitled Jail, is decreased by $1,200, line item 334, entitled Maintenance Agreements. Account 54210, entitled Jail, is increased by $1,200, line item 187, entitled Overtime. We will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Tim Daniels, second by Danny Wagner. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, without objection, commissioners, please cast your votes. Seeing that the votes are cast, Ms. Wilson, could you tally the votes?
It is 13 yes, 0 noes.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. All ayes, the resolution passes. Do we have any other business? We have a motion by Mr. Rochelle for adjournment. We have a second by Mr. Daniels. All those in favor state by saying aye. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Appreciate your time this evening. Commissioners, if I can bring you back, we had a scrivener's error in the last budget amendment. It reads 54,210, but it actually needs to move to 54,110, which is the sheriff's department. So we're moving funds from the jail line item to the sheriff's department line item. Same amount, everything is correct, other than it's right, it's moving from the jail to the sheriff's department. So if I could, can I have a motion and a second on that? Yeah, motion, Mr. Malone, second, Mr. Coleman. All those in favor, no, we need to do, are we logged out? Did everybody log out? Are we still doing a vote on that? We're in? Okay. Commissioners, if you could please recast your vote. Okay. That'd be great. We'll know who's missing tonight.
Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. Curtis.
Yes.
Mr. Daniels.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hooper.
Yes.
Jerry, I'm sorry. Mr. Nick. Jerry, Ricky Hooper. Mr. Hurd. Mr. Malone.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mayberry. Mr. Flanagan.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Phillips. Mr. Rochelle.
Yes.
Mr. Tidwell.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Turner.
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes, ma'am.
We have 13 yeses, 0 no.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. All ayes, resolution passes. That brings back fond memories. And we had a motion to adjourn by Mr. Rochelle, a second by Mr. Daniels.